you know, I'm very interested to talk more about politics, talk more about strategy, because currently in this region for Southeast Asia and the wider Asia Pacific regions, I'm responsible for some projects that related to strategic planning, which is must be very, very, very interesting for all of you, especially, you know, for the to see the future development and how positionings cities in Indonesia. Because especially if we talk about Jakarta, many times I talk about Jakarta with Bayani. Do you remember? And I say that, come on, don't comparing Jakarta with Surabaya, don't comparing Jakarta with Medan, because you know your competitor is actually Manila. It's actually sometimes Singapore is, you know, oh my God, there will be a new tallest building again in center of CBD in Jakarta. So that's the things. Okay, I'm starting to sharing my screen. I just would like to know whether everyone can see my screen right now.
Yes, we can.
Sorry. All right. Okay, so everyone can see my screen. I already received your some days ago, and I tried to strict with that, but because I would like to use this opportunity to sharing experience from projects that we have in Indonesia. So I will show some documents like Prospectus, and maybe if we have more time, I will show more about the video that we created as a teaser for Governor in Central Java. It's your neighbor from Yogyakarta. So yeah, so this is the outline. Probably will introduce a bit about Berhaput in Indonesia. We're pretty new. Berhaput itself, it's already established since 1960, but Berhaput Indonesia is just established November last year. So we are new. I'm the oldest in this office, and we are very welcome to. This is why when Mbayani came to me and gave the invitation, and I said it to the team that, hey, look, come on, more and more young people would like to talk to us. So this is, you know, really become like a challenge for us. I will show the Indonesia urban context and policy, which is we criticize. I especially criticize a lot in terms of the policy. And also the case studies from the global and local lesson learned from the best practice that's done by the whole team of Berhaput. And some of our ideations, I shared this document actually already to Mbak Ajeng, but because there are some ideations that we built for the future projects in Indonesia. So it's very high level document, but I would like to show you on my presentations, and I'm happy to have a further discussions after this. So this is about the Berhaput Indonesia. Berhaput is well known by President Sukarno back in 1950, when President Sukarno designing the stadium of Gelora Bung Karno. The roof itself is designed by our founder, Mr. Sir Ted Hapult. So Ted is the Quaker. He has a Quaker background, you know, Quaker oatmeal, the logo on the oatmeal product. So that's the Quaker. So Quaker is always work, and that work, it should have a social value. So that's like a torch that now I bring for many years after Ted Hapult passed away back in 1996. Ted have a principle to touch the ground lightly, and this is the similar principles that me and my team are using right now for working in a strategic development for many cities and regions in Indonesia, and surrounded in a wider area in Southeast Asia. Okay, so this is, you know, like I mean, everybody in the office say that, oh yeah, you also chubby like that. So it's just showing, there's one big family of Berhaput Jakarta. So And then some of them are now joining on this guest lecture too. So this is the office we will have around the world. So we have many branch in Central Europe. We are focused in Berlin to control our Central Europe business, Berlin and Munich. And I also heard from Bayani that some students also come from Germany. This is why we are very, very interested. And but we are based in the UK. We established in Bath, so it's the only one Roman city in the UK. So it's a 1.5 hour train from London. But many of our team are in London, and then now we grow in the US too. I will show you in some of the projects from the decline populations and social issue in Detroit, and then we involve on the Detroit Future City, and now how we build the team in Detroit and positioning Detroit between the other states in the US. We also, back to this map, we also quite big in Saudi Arabia. We established there since 1982. So Puraport is talk about many things, but my team, we are from the cities. We talk about more strategies. We talk about more on the policy, on the economics aspects. So this is some of the example of the Puraport projects. That's the 100 RC that I did together with Bayani for several years. It's very challenging, but it's very interesting. It is now become a base document for Jakarta government and also for its state-owned enterprises as the arm's length. So they adopted into the business already, which is, I found this very good. And I also heard when Ba Ajeng mentioned there are also some students or one student from Papua. We also have experience back in 2014 to 2016 in Timika from Freeport. So yeah, we'll be happy to share more. So this is the projects that I did together with Bayani and Ibu Marianti also here with us. So we developed a resilience strategy for Jakarta as an umbrella document for Jakarta government. And this is also become, they put it on every, single press that they have. This is also now adopted by state-owned enterprises, which is, we find it very, very, very good. So this is how Jakarta prepared themselves for the any kind of like a nature disaster or any kind of stresses that Jakarta have, because Jakarta, we are now stressed because for almost 1 year, the traffic jam is not as bad as normally. It's also make us stress. So and then lately it's back to the normal. Okay. So and another stress during this pandemic. So this document, we are still back and forth getting invitations from the government, but seen from other perspective. We also did this kind of document too for Malacca, one city in Southeast Asia, in Malaysia. So this is the current project and it's almost done. And this is for a climate action plan for Jakarta. And now let's, we are back to what Bayani and maybe from Pasani would like me to deliver this afternoon. So this is about the Indonesia urban context and policy. We see here, Indonesia has urbanized more rapidly since 1960. Yeah, and how we decentralize and how we see the result now, how big gaps between Jakarta and the area outside Jakarta. Now it's become a problem, when government trying to build more and more public infrastructure outside Java Island, now become a problem. What is the problem? When you want to deliver, when you want to hand over it to make the local government more self-standing, there is a problem. There is a huge problem on it. Okay, so we can see here now the positions between Indonesia and other countries in Asia. We see with the Malaysia, because it's Malaysia, it's in Bahasa, we sometimes call them as a benci sayang. We hate them, but we love them. Okay, this is our positions, yeah, since 1960 to 2019. But so what? Okay, and then this is a data that's probably you also already know. But what I would like to bring on the framework together is thinking on so what, by seeing the density. I would like to see, you know, how big the density, how dense the city of Jakarta and Surabaya compared to the other city that mentions here, and also about the GDP per head, and link it with the population density. So the next questions is what is the trajectory? So what is the path of next with the situations like this? And next we will talk about the bonus demographic and so on. And this is about the Indonesia and the global policy. It's actually Indonesia. It's quite on track in terms of positioning this country or some city in this country in the global policies, you know, like how active we are in the United Nations conventions in terms of climate change, how active we are on the REDD plus. Maybe some of you are very familiar with the RED plus on the our national strategy, which is aligned with the global policies, and also the new urban agenda. So Bayani also know about this, and how Jakarta, a city like Jakarta, Surabaya, trying hard to align with that. And we also have the president regulations regarding the SDGs, and Bapanas also regulates that things into some implementations in a major city, and also this government also divided Indonesia into 4 big regions. So yes, we are on track, but then the question is, so what? What is the implementation? Whether our people got or feel or can see the benefit. So that's still a question, yeah. And then this is the second tier cities are on the move. Yes, it is. Like Bandung, you know, during the maybe if you remember when Governor Ridwan Kamil used to the mayor of Bandung, he always say that, you know, many young people here, and how to utilize them, you know. So this is the SOA, you know. So how to create job creations, how to answer it, how to answer about the needs of housings, how to answer about that things about food security, you know, many things. So is that need just to positioning our cities, positionings in terms of have a very good or good enough infrastructure, or positioning them good enough as economic center? So that's the question. That's fundamental questions. You have all the things. You have good infrastructures, but never think about the city itself as the economic center. Still, people will come to Jakarta. Trust me. So that's the case. Okay. So government should think more, I mean, deeper into the where we will put our economic center in our regions. Let's say for region, west region, central regions, and the eastern regions of Indonesia. So here with the data we have for Jakarta, Surabaya, and Bandung, the questions is what is the role of these economic cities and how it will give the impact to the surrounding area, and how far it's too far the impact that they can give in the surrounding area. And also how they've been impacted by regionalizations. You know, is that city far there in Papua, let's say Timika or Jayapura? Is that a real economic center? And do they able to filling the gaps? Do they able to continuing or like bringing the torch, like Ted Happo give me the torch to continuing developing the business? Let's say central government helping them to develop a public infrastructures. Do they able to continue that, or do they able to let their people to take benefit from that, or gains the economy, gains the business that they have? So that's still a question. And I think this is interesting, Bayani, Pasani, because I would like to have more, you know, like maybe in the other chance we can talk more to the student and put it on the, you know, like a best practice, you know, in region. Let's say for West, we choose one city in the West, and we choose one city in the center and one city in the East of Indonesia. And this is the demographic farmers. You know, if we talk about the a global context, in the future, that the populations will be going up and up, will be in Africa. Indonesia will getting slowed down. The country in Southeast Asia will be getting slowed down, predicted start from 2030. But we already have the bonus demographic right now. So this is the opportunity, this is the challenge, and I will show you in the next slides the challenge and the opportunity. Okay, so the challenge, for many years, the urbanizations is heavily concentrated in Java, right or not? Like or dislike? Yeah, that is true. It is still happen until today. You know, if you work in Papua, I've been experienced, you know, sent by Freeport to work in Papua for 2 years, and then they said, oh, again, the expert from Java. That's interesting. I mean, they need to positioning themselves. So this is funny. We sometimes want to positioning ourselves between, you know, like big city, maybe like Surabaya and Jakarta. Yes, these two cities have to positioning themselves with the region in the Southeast Asia or in the Asia. But other city, they start to competing each other, you know, and then it's creating social issue. That's sometimes latent. We cannot see it. Indonesia's GDP per head, it's too high to compete on low-cost producers. Yes, that is true. Yeah, cost for labor, it's more expensive here compared to Vietnam. We are just had a projects for special economic zones, and we see, surprisingly, we see that how the gaps between, you know, the labor costs between Indonesia and neighbor countries in Southeast Asia. But its technology cannot compete with Japan, South Korea, and China. I know maybe some of you will say that, no, I'm not agreeing with that, because we develop something really big like what we call it, Tokopedia, what we call it, a Gojek. But you see, when it grew, behind of that, our government is not really focused, it's not really concerned on, you know, give more stimulus to them. So then the China investment is coming, and then they put the money on that things. So it's no longer 100% belongs to us, okay? They spreading the business, and we are just staying here. Okay, so this is interesting, because this is the opportunity, to be honest. This is a challenge, but this is the opportunity. Next, Indonesia decentralized without putting in place the capacity to deliver in the regions. This is what I mentioned many times. This is the gaps. Yeah, we build everything. It's easy to build. We have the money. Yeah, it's very easy to build, but to continuing it, give the torch to the next or to the local government, to continuing it, to adding value into it. That's fun. Yeah. Jakarta can do that. Surabaya probably can do that. You know, even like East Java. East Java is quite rich. Yeah. But still can see the gaps. Yeah, between the city and regions there. Unlivable city due to traffic congestions, pollutions, insufficient affordable housings, and continued deficits in access and basic services. It is. This is what they have to put as the platform when they want to do whatever it is, urban regenerations. That's the opportunity, urban regenerations. And now because a company like KI or Indonesia Rail Company, very aggressive on connecting, and then the president also very aggressive on connecting between cities, between regencies, with toll road and so on. We have to prepare these things. Otherwise, people will concentrate in a, like a conventional, ways, like staying in Jakarta, staying in Surabaya, staying in a big city. Okay, Yogyakarta, I know Yogyakarta is quite famous with a company called Gameloft. So they created online games, yeah. But why this not become, economic revenue for the city? Yeah, I mean, Yogyakarta is still, it's still doable if you want to do planning compared to Jakarta, yeah. And then yes, I know politics sometimes give influence and make it not easy to do. Urbanization has not fulfilled its potential to drive sustainable improvement in prosperity, inclusiveness. So that's still, So let's make the 1 billion for all the people, not 1 billion getting up for the Taipan, for the millionaire, and then 1 rupiah, it's gone. It's only for, yeah, most of our people that call in the category of poor. Livability in Indonesia, that's still a question. Lack of alternative source of funding on urban infrastructure. Yes, it is true. Or the SOE, maybe, I don't know whether the students are aware or familiar with the SOE. SOE is the BUMN and also the BUMD. So it's a company, a state-owned company or government-owned company. Indonesia is very, maybe for students from Germany. Germany is not managed, the government business through state-owned enterprises like in the UK. It's different. In the UK, you can see many state-owned enterprises, just like in Indonesia. So for strategic public infrastructure or business, it's still handled through the state-owned enterprises. In the European country, that's very strong in that sense. It's the United Kingdom. Are the SOE constrained on the productivity improvement an important delivery route for cities? Or they're just like, funding source for campaign? That's what we don't want to see, yeah? So SOE should help him, especially for the local SOE. We're really keen to push the local SOE to deliver strategic urban infrastructures development. And also, what is the opportunities? Find mechanism to rise living standard without increasing environmental burden or carbon footprint. I hope that everyone agree with this, especially for the young generations. We should agree about the carbon footprints, not increasing environmental burden. Do we have a good living standards? Probably the living standard in Jakarta is so much better compared to living standard here in Jakarta. Yes, I work in a very nice, like environment like this in District 8, but is the living standard good? That's the question. Am I happy? If I ask my team, you're happy? Oh, it's not really, because we cannot do saving. We live in Jakarta. Revenue generations. This is important. We cannot just talk about how much money that we spend on the infrastructure development. We have to talk about economic things. We have to talk about revenue generation. If we build this road, what is the economic benefit that our people or the local government could take from that road development? Okay, because if we can do that, That is the potential sustainable finances or funding for the regional development or cities development. Okay, potential to capitalize on changes. So this is due to pandemic situation. So benefit the smaller city and rural area, particularly in health and education. So probably the issue on COVID is not as much like a horror like in Jakarta. If we go to a place like in Bali, I don't know in Jakarta, is that horror just like us in Jakarta, you know?
Not
So,
that much, but
not that much. That's true. Yeah, this is horror now. Horror, and also for some individual now, it's challenging because it's like a aviation show. If you go to my office, maybe next time we can invite, because this is a good transit-oriented development example for your student to come and see fashion show, you know, mask fashion show. So this is actually the opportunity for smaller city or a secondary city, you know, because government now, if we take a look on the new regulations in Japan, they give incentive to young people and the young family willing to leave big city like Tokyo to the suburb area. So whether can we do that, you know? Yes, Minister Sandi already asked. He even asked me personally, let's do work from Bali. But why this only Bali? Why we are not doing work from Yogyakarta or work from Semarang or work for, or Peter, you willing to move to Yogyakarta? that questions, you know. And also closing the gap between best and rest in terms of infrastructure and connectivity, including digital provisions. This is important, digital provisions, because that's not only connecting you with the real things, because everything is now digitalized, our finance systems, the banking systems, and so on. Okay, so data is very important. This is why I say that, because this is the school of politics. You have aware more into a social economics issue. Okay, it's different when I talk to the students from architecture or from urban planning. Yeah, they say, oh yeah, okay, this is the city shapes will be like this, but the sense of social, you know, they don't get it. Why we need digital? That's your communication store. Why we need data centers? Because that's money for finance, for banking. That's the money, and for you, that's the future. Because the only one way you can control, we need to control the society, right? With what? Data. Enhanced food security. This is we will show you on the next slides about the current projects we have, talking about the food security, because this is very crucial. We talk about Jakarta Mayani on Jakarta resilience strategy, how Jakarta really in endangered situations. If one road is broken, or closed, or there is a big flood on the gate from outside, from suburb area entering Jakarta, we are not producing any food at all. Yeah. So on that time, we only able to give food for our people in Jakarta for only 1 month, even less than that. It's scary, yeah. And also providing access for affordable housings. This is now local government are starting to think about, especially for the big city like Jakarta and Surabaya, because you know, every time the private developer start to launch a new apartment projects, there is no opportunity for us young people in this country, in the big city like Jakarta and Surabaya, to buy it. Yeah, this is more for the high level people, to having more properties in the cities. This is why the slum will be getting, you know, bigger and bigger, because because government is not providing for us. Social housing that government provided is actually for poor people, okay? But because of there is no opportunity, or government is not giving or providing a young productive people with opportunity to own a house or apartment or any units, studio, that kind of thing. So we targeting the social housing, right? And then the people who should live in that social housing, because they don't have money like us, and then we already occupied, and then they build slums. So that's the cycle. That's what government has to think, providing it for the young people, the social housing. And this is the approach that we are taking for in the last few years. How we address difficult configurations in existing city, like when we talk about housing needs, job creations in a city, major city like Jakarta, Surabaya, or in a secondary city like Bandung, Semarang, Yogyakarta. So where we start, this is what we are bring the framework on evidence-based approach to look at in any city, and we tailored the needs of each city based on its own character, its own issue, its own problem, its own economic potentials or social potentials. So we analyze, we synthesize, we optimizing it, and we make plan. We normally go with the integrated development plan, where we combine, not only many consultant goes with the physical and technical issue, or some big four will go only with the economics issue, but we try to combine it. And I do really hope that the way of thinking from the social politics student is to combine, the physical and technical understanding with the commercial and regulatory understanding, so that we have the right balance between the economics and the physicals, not to have big tendencies on build physical development, but what is the economy, how we can increase the economy, how we can create a job, and so on, right? And then this is the strategy, and then the cycle, how, because we understand that planning a city, a good city, it is not a short-term work. It's normally, I will show you in a lesson learned slides. I will show you how cities in this world, it's normally take, sometimes to develop their 20 years plan, 20 to 25 years. But we are now facing a situation, especially for a democratic country like Indonesia, like in the US, like in the UK, how we can accelerate the major strategic change with 4 to 5 years political cycles. It's normally 5 years, but the last year, I can tell them they effectively, the leaders, the mayors, governors, even the presidents, they worked only for 4 years, because the last years normally they're using as a political years. But how we align it? We cannot sacrificing the city or agencies just because we want to chasing the quick wins. Smart leaders is normally will using that as a legacy of their or showing the path, legacy for setting up the next term, legacy for setting up the next political career, that kind of things. So what I do really expect after this sharing sessions, It's the way of thinking from the students on how to aligning the needs of leaders, political leaders, with the future of the city of region or agencies without sacrificing the cities or regions itself. Okay, so building successful partnerships, thinking about the business planning, implementations management. Sometimes people is just no. What we can build? What we can build? Road, toll road, port, airport, seaport, without asking whether we need it, without asking what is the economic benefit for that, what is the social benefits for that. Yeah. So this is why we need to think more holistic, more integrated. So this is probably the most interesting part about the case study in a global lesson learned. This is the future Riyadh that we did study back in 2013, 2014. So Riyadh, it's actually planned their strategy and also implementations documents for 20 years. And then it involves the planning, economy, infrastructure, environment, and service provisions. Why Mayor of Riyadh really pushing for that for Riyadh 2030? It's because they want to positioning themselves within the city in Gulf area. So yes, Indonesia also have, you know, like RTRW as the airway or Jakarta 2030, but that document is just document. It's not a smartly accompanied or equipped with implementations strategy. Okay, what is the lesson learned we can take from the Riyadh? Is to fewer initiative but deliver better implementations. Better contributed towards strategic planning between political administration. Take longer than 5 years to deliver anything meaningful. That's true. But what is the quick wins? Let's think about that, but over the whole city's planning. We cannot just okay. We need to build we need to build stadium like what Jakarta government currently does. We have to for that stadium, but we're helping them to think more holistic because the idea is just, oh no, I want to have stadium with the capacity 80,000 for World Cup, without thinking. When they check to FIFA, the World Cup, cities cannot register for World Cup. World Cup should be registered by the government, by the central government. So it's only the president can bring the proposals to FIFA for the World Cup. So if Jakarta have it, so what? Okay, so that's the thing. More integrated approach toward public transit and affordable housing. We are struggling for affordable housing. This is also interesting. It's about Detroit Future City. I can share you the link of Detroit Future City's document later on. Because the Detroit, as we know, the Detroit population is declined. If you heard about Detroit, what is in your mind? Automotive industry. That's where Ford come from. Yeah. But because of they're not thinking on the balance right between the industry and what the people's needs. So everything is getting rise and more and expensive, and it's not affordable anymore for the local people. And there is also a big issue in Detroit on social issue on Afro-American racial issue. It's the main background of the problem in Detroit. So then people leaving the city, they leave because they cannot afford, and also the industry they left. Okay, they move to a suburb, which is land is cheaper, and then labor also cheaper. So what happened in Detroit? It's abandoned. The city is abandoned. So back in 2013, we helped the mayor at that time, Mayor Bing, to prepare a document for stating that they are bankrupt. The city is bankrupt, so then they can get fund from federals and also from the central government. That's the only one way. Okay, but the mayor is smart enough to targeting on developing a future state rate document. Okay, it's the document. It's online right now, so then everyone can see. They also currently have the Detroit strategy on facing the COVID-19. They have that kind of things. Okay. But see again, this is 20 years plan document and 5-year plan involving planning, economy, infrastructure, employment, environmental service provisions. And then the lesson learned, you cannot have a prosperous city with the large sections of the population excluded. Right, right. Do fewer initiatives but deliver better use and the process to the right size and align infrastructure to the economic and affordability. Again, that's the case, affordability, whether your city affordable or not for your citizens. Or now maybe the question is that your city attractive enough for business? Is that your city attractive enough for people to live in? So that's the question. It's more integrated approach toward public transit and affordable housing. That's actually now what Jakarta and Surabaya are trying to do. This is the Lower Lee Valley project example. This is from the UK. Our client that time was an armed company owned by the Greater London. It's called LLDC, London Legacy Development Corporation. So that's a joint venture company between the Greater London, the one who managed the funding. On that time, they built this company because after the Olympic for 2 weeks, so then what's next? How to utilize, the money that we already spent and then the land that we already opened for 2 weeks activity. What we have to do, because we learn, like Sydney Olympic, it's made bankrupt, and then some Olympics from Canada, it's also facing a bankruptcy situations, right? So they established the company called LLDC, and then they bring the borough to be part of this business because borough, they own the land, and then they bring state-owned enterprises. This LLDC is also state-owned enterprises, but the state-owned enterprises that they bring in is a rail company and also metro company, and then they bring some property private sectors to be involved in these projects. So this is basically a master plan and legacy plan of sites for London Olympic in 2021, but this is really a good example of urban regenerations. Okay. And subsequent transformations of the Queen Elizabeth Park. Nowadays it's called Queen Elizabeth Park, creating a new center for East London. So it's really changing the landscape of East London. You see them in the middle of this area. This is the Lower Lee Valley. There is a river, in the middle of these sites. It used to a slum, and it's used to an area where people in London always dumping their electronics waste. Can you imagine? So so the beach waste, it's there. It's very the soil. It's very what's that? It's very polluted. Yeah. And then they spend a lot of money to build this, see, the circle here. This is the stadium. They also own arena. They also own a, what's that? The velodrome for cycling. And then they think, what is next? So they need something, legacy, after 2 weeks activities. So what is next? And then they need to consider on creating future economy. So the future economy has become an integrated approach. So it's become the spirit of this development in this area, and establishing the SPV, like I mentioned before, the company. And then how flexible the infrastructure to accommodate multiple uses. There's it used to some old some building during the 2 weeks Olympics that they are now using as a campus, digital campus for all the school that own digital faculty to be there, and they're creating a digital business ecosystem. So there's housings, research centers, it's a campus development. So they're thinking about that. And then this is the Jeddah plan. Everybody knows, maybe some of you knows Jeddah. It's the second largest, and then this is actually the gate to go to Medina and Mecca. Yeah. So they also have planned for 20 years, 25 years planning document and thinking about its implementations. Jeddah situation is different from Riyadh because Jeddah facing more slums area. Jeddah have a very huge gaps between the rich and the poor. So that's what they are trying to reduce. And also about the sanitations, Saudi it's have that kind of problems. I will show you how they manage the most polluted river in the world in Riyadh later on. And then needs of affordable housings for the most vulnerable is necessarily required. And protecting the sea coral reefs is the essential for environment in Jeddah. They have a lesson learned that time from the Sydney and then the coastal city in Australia, where the Great Barrier Reefs it's in the danger situations, right? So they use that as an example. And this is the Los Angeles County plan. It's about climate action plan and also developing programs, bring the private sectors to involve engaging with the wider stakeholders to support the city. This is the key in this project is really the mayor. So how we can have a very good convening power to engage and also to persuade private sectors to involve, to persuade investors to put the money. Okay. This is the Wadi Hanifa, the projects that I mentioned in Riyadh. So let's go to link to the documents. Everyone can still see the Wadi Hanifa document right now.
No, but Pita, yeah.
Okay, it should be new share. Okay. Now,
yes.
Yeah, this is the Wadi Hanifa restoration project. So back in 2010, this is the most sustainable projects in the world by the this. It used to very polluted river. Cannot imagine because the government the local government is dumping waste from their septic tank in each apartment units, houses. They just dump everything in this valley. So wadi, it's the Arabic word of valley, and then it is dry like this during the dry seasons, but in 10 days rainy season, it's full with water. But so it's don't imagine then these trees will be, you know, laid down, and during the dry season it will be up again. And then I'll show you quick. So this is the changes. Yeah, it's changed the people activities too. Women, children, they can go, they can touch the water, they can have afternoon time. Mother can bring the children for the afternoon time. The man can do fishing because they trap during the rainy season. They trap the water so then they can keep water for along the years in some area in this wadi. So this is the map of city of Riyadh. And then this is the watershed system. The green one is the watershed system. That's the Wadi Hanifa. So this is the conditions of original Wadi Hanifa on above. And then they also waste. They also dump the medical waste, not only household waste, but also the medical waste there. So it's really terrible. It's really bad. But this is in the below. This is the current situations of Wadi Hanifa, and then this is how they trap the water so that they can keep water all along the year. But during the rainy seasons, the water is going up to the stairs. If you can see on the right side here. Okay, so this is 4,500 kilometer long river spreading from Taif to Jeddah. It's quite huge, and Riyadh city is only part of it. If you see this is the Riyadh city, and then the rest is the watershed. And then they creating business over the business here. So you see business for the clean water, business for the dates, what's that? Dates, fruits. Yeah, I can share this document for all of you to read and to understand more. And then this is the water systems they have nowadays. Yeah, they're testing it. Yeah, it is nice. But it's flooded, yes. About 2 years ago, it's flooded. It's because of very heavy rains. Okay, now we're back to this presentation. Okay. Sorry. All right. And then this is the local lesson learned that we are doing. So this is we've been doing for a management plan for the lowland area in Mimika. If you see the original situations, this is the West Levy in Aikwa River. Anyone been to Mika or Mimika? So where they Freeport as a mining company, they dump the tailings to the Aikwa River, and then there's a environmental issue in that area, and we're helping them for strategy on how to bring the environment back to its place, and preparing strategy to hand over it back in the future. To the local government, because there will be a population increasing in Timika to changes on switching on industrial sectors and so on. So yeah, this is the current projects we have. This is in Pulau Mas in Jakarta. So how we helping the client on repositioning, because Pulau Mas is actually a huge area. They got land, Jakarta government gave land to a company called PT Pulau Mas Jaya back in 1963 to serving housing needs for local people. This project is driven by the development of new toll road in eastern, the loop line in the eastern of Jakarta. But because of the development in Jakarta is quite small, and Pulau Mas it's a red plate company. So the Taipan's company is not include them in the Dragon's Body. You know, if you know the Taipan's, the owner of what's that, the developer company. So they believe that their business it's only bring, you know, profits if it is built along the what's that, the Dragon's Body, and then they are not include Pulau Mas. But actually Pulau Mas is in the neighborhood area of Kelapa Gading, but they are not include Pulau Mas. So that's a problem. This is a small case how we have 350 hectares to positioning or repositioning themselves in between players, developers company in East Jakarta and become a new center of Eastern Jakarta. So I can share you here the prospectus of Pulau Mas. Anyone can see Pulau Mas prospectus right now?
Yes, Mbak.
Yeah. So yeah, this is the prospectus that we prepared. This is the feature, how they will regenerate a North and East Jakarta, space for Jakarta, new economy, next generations, housings, enhance green space, making the most public investment. So what I mentioned on above on my slides about the theory, about the fact that we have certain number of populations, the fact about our density. This is the answer. We trying to addressing it, bringing the concept into, you know, smaller cases in cities. But it could be adopted by, you know, like bigger city like Semarang or Yogyakarta or even the new you know, like city when they want to switch from oil and gas industry to a city that give you know, service city like Jakarta. So it is also good for Balikpapan. How repositioning Balikpapan. Jobs creations, homes, affordable homes. What about the future populations? Yeah. How about the physical development in the futures? Office space, cities, parks, secondary high schools. Okay, so I will show the quick, we'll do the quick show. So this is the new business we bring, life science clusters. It's actually not new because in that area, in the life science, there are a lot of players. There are a company for pharmaceutical. So we just bring, hey, this is business. This could be a good business for you. Life science, bring them as your collaborator. So we are now helping companies to think more broader. Okay. This is the original plan of Pulau Mas back in 1960. It's a satellite. Yeah. And now with the opportunity of transit-oriented development, the area it's going up from 350 hectares to 450 hectares. It's a new CBD in East Jakarta. So this is just the image of the future Pulau Mas, yeah, and how we link this Pulau Mas, how we're repositioning in between new economic center in Jakarta. This is what we have to do for the whole Indonesia, yeah. How we prepare secondary or tertiary city to be a economic center, to be a economic supporter for the bigger city. So that's what we have to do. So this is the benchmark for quality regenerations. This is just the image, the plan itself, what we plan to build there, how about the future business, essentials development. Yeah, we actually have because this belongs to our client. We cannot show you, like the business document. We actually have, the rate for the cost for development and the payback period if they do development, and also its cash flow if they are doing all of this development. So we are thinking about that kind of things. Okay. So this is the 2030 super TOD for Jakarta. Back to the presentation. Okay, and then this is the ambitious project of Governor of Jakarta, Governor Anies, for stadium, but we try to balancing it with understanding on doing. Yes, you're right. You can do development for you can build a stadium, but the stadium should give benefit for North Jakarta. The stadium is located in the North Jakarta. What is the benefits for the local people there? What is the benefit for North Jakarta municipality? So that we bring them to think about that. So everyone can see the prospectus document now.
Yes, we can, Mbak.
All right. So just a quick. I will show you. Yeah. So this is the new development in the North Jakarta. Typical, like the former document that I showed you. 4,800 plus jobs will be created there. This is the new residence and retail. Total homes, affordable homes is 238 affordable housings will be there, and green area, because we have on the Jakarta 2030 RTRW the plan of Jakarta to reach increasing ratio of green for about 30%, but how? There is no clear implementations plan. It should be, can bring into this kind of projects, to be honest. Yeah. So I show you very quick. This is the future development in the North Jakarta. So in the future, when you want to take flight from outside Jakarta, want to land it in Jakarta, you will see this landscape in the north of Jakarta. And then this area should give an impact to regeneration in the surrounding area. So this is why we bring a TOD principles into it. Show you the quick. No, this is about, okay, this is about the surrounding environment in that area. So there will be a community, co-working, residentials, retails, everything. We are not the people like in the European country that will actively using the stadium or actively our people. Yes, the players, the football players. Yes, but we are different. We are not like that, and then we don't have a very regular games between clubs. No, we are not quite often in terms of the regularity of Premier League. We are not like in Europe. So we have to bring more and more activities, retails, creating communities by bringing office park, by bringing schools, by bringing public or communities space for gathering, that things. That whatever it is, the business should be 365 days. Okay, now back to the presentations. All right, and then this is on your neighbor area. This is in Semarang. I'll show you the video, short video that we prepare. Because by seeing the video, you can see how we make a decision-making plan, and also how we positioning and how we helping local government to positioning the new center or new area. This is everyone can see the screen.
Yeah, we can, Mbak.
So this is in Semarang. This is the urban regeneration on the for the North Semarang. It will be helping to reduce Semarang. Not enough just to see how we link with the industrial park, how we link with the Batam industrial park, with the furniture industry, and so on. Even how we link with the Jakarta. This is not a very huge area. It's only 45 acres, but this hopefully will bring impact for around. So this is just give a how we positioning an area, but the context is small. The high context is only on the north area of Semarang. And this is also um, fulfilling the needs for affordable housing and also digital hubs for providing office centers, office parks, or digital estate surrounding Semarang, like Batang or Kendal. Okay. So yeah, this hopefully become a multiplayer, give multiplayer effect. This one. So yeah, okay. And then now it is some ideations that we are currently working, and we're probably happy to have further discussions with the students, because some of the cases it's probably interesting for you guys. This is about the public transport and transit-oriented development, about the urban regenerations in Bali, life science on the post-COVID in several area in Indonesia, and integrated food states. Because as you know that Indonesia now trying to build five locations for the food estate. This is for national security program. The first locations that they will build will be in Central Kalimantan, and then the second will be in the Papua. So yeah, this is about TOD. I don't know whether students or Bayani or Sani really familiar with these projects, where currently really booming. People is very super enthusiastic talk about the transit-oriented development, because of in many cities in Indonesia now we build the LRT, MRT systems, and then in some area KI also reactivating the rail and train as a public transport. So we are helping the local government to think through the KI project, to think on the win-win solutions, how they can grab and repositioning, can do regeneration, can do rejuvenate for their city through these transport projects. Okay, we see how we divided the business for the transit operator, for a company like KI, for the city itself, how it enhance economic development performance, enable better cities, connectivity services, create more impact efficient city, which is fiscally and environmentally more sustainable and creates better quality of life and with the landowners. This is interesting, Bayani. If we can see the opportunity for Yogyakarta. I've been under discussions when I talk about the urban regeneration in Bali with one of the director in KI, because he mentions about the autonomous train that KI will support for Yogyakarta, for the intercity, inner city, and also to connecting Yogyakarta with the new Yogyakarta International Airport. This project's been discussed several times with Ngarsa Dalam, with the governor, with Sultan. So maybe this could be our future like collaborations that we can do together with you and your team. Yeah. So this is the benefits of transit-oriented. This is what city of Yogyakarta or provinces should, positioning themselves. Where they can, gain the economy, where they can creating revenue source for the city, where they can helping the opportunity to do more job creations for the young people, okay, where they can get the opportunity for the real estate development. Yeah. So this is the opportunity. This is what we are also doing, similar things, but in Sanur. So we helping for doing regenerations for Sanur area, because there will be a new port built for passengers connecting Sanur, Bali mainland with the three small islands in eastern Bali. So yeah, this is the desa theory. So this is the similar principle that we can apply for Yogyakarta. We are still not doing it yet, but we probably soon will do that for KI. How positioning through the transit-oriented development and bring the land value capture, helping to repositioning the province or the city itself, Yeah. So this is in the context of Sanur in Bali, and this is the other things like what I mentioned before for pharmaceuticals business in Indonesia, because in Indonesia it's not independent in terms of medical equipments or pharmaceutical business, because we still 95% relies to goods from outside the country. So this is very dangerous, especially if we take a look on the populations we have. Yeah, and we don't be living in a very vulnerable in crisis. So we need to wake up. We need to have a good initiative, develop a strategy for this life science, because yes, we are quite good. I mean our BNPP, what is the BNPP? It's Badan. Yeah, it's for the National Disaster Unit. Yeah, it is good for natural disaster. But when we're facing these pandemic situations, we are not handle it in quite good. It's better compared to neighboring country, but in terms of data and so on, we are still left behind. Yeah. So yeah, this is what we are currently trying to do with the national government. Yeah, thinking about the strategy and actions. Yeah, this will be applied in some area, like in Jakarta, and also, excuse me, some area in Surabaya too. Okay, and this will be helping to repositioning, the business, the city through its business. And this is about the Indonesia food security projects. You see where we are. We are number 62, even compared to Singapore in terms of the food security. Singapore, they eat rice, they eat nasi, similar to us. They don't have paddy rice field, but they are in a better positions for national food security compared to us, because we are not managed it well. Yeah, we are not make it balanced. We know there's an area that's surplus, but we know there's an area it's in minus situations. Yeah, so we are now helping Bapenas thinking about how to implement the political commitment on food security. Yes, it turns into my last slide. I don't want to like discuss about the new capital city, but maybe if we have a next chance. This is just to bring into a communications with you guys about the pros and cons for the new capital cities. We are not. I mean, Rapolis is not on the positions on the involving in the city, but we are thinking about Balikpapan. So we also would like to hear. Maybe we cannot discuss in the sessions. Maybe we can have another sessions to discuss about pro cons on the new capital city. Whether it is only political things that our leaders would like to do, or this is something that we really need. Yeah. Yes, we know the situation of Jakarta is sinking, it's over polluted, it's wrong, it's need to be managed in a well manner. But it's that moving the capital city to East Kalimantan, is that the answer? So yeah, this is the end of my slides. Thank you very much, and I look forward for a questions, answers, or more discussions with the students, and also with Pasani and Bayani. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you very much, Mbak Pita, for the guest lecture. We are very fortunate, everyone, that we got very interesting presentations and insightful presentations from the practitioners, from the practitioner. And also, thank you, Mbak Pita, for sharing some of the local and international projects, yeah, that Guru Hapot already working on, and those are very interesting. And I would like to invite my students and also the participants to ask questions directly to Ibu Pita, to Mbak Pita. Please, anyone?
Okay. Anyone? Hello there. Are you taking a nap? No, right? Come on. If anyone student want to ask a question, it's a really great opportunity because Ms. Pita has a lot of experience in this urban planning. Okay, I think we have one student who raised.
Okay, Mariam. Okay, Mariam. Mariam is our international student, Mbak Pita from Germany. Yeah, Mariam, please give like a short introduction about yourself and from where are you from, and then the questions.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Thank you first of all for the presentation. It was really interesting. Yeah, my name is Mariam. I'm from Germany and I'm studying in Constance in the south of Germany, international business with focus on Southeast Asia. And I'm learning Indonesian since 2 years now. And I've got a question regarding Saudi Arabia because I recently saw some documentaries about urban planning and construction also in Saudi Arabia, and that they used a lot of sand for urban changes there, and especially sand from Southeast Asia and from Indonesia. So is this also part of the urban planning process, or is this like a different topic?
Okay.
Thank you, Mariam. Yeah, please, Mbak Pita, answer the question.
Thank you, Mariam. Yes, the landscape character is totally different. If you see the example we have here in the Saudi Arabia and the city in Indonesia or maybe in Southeast Asia. But the concept and the approach that we are doing is pretty similar, because there is a government still, even though it's run by MBS right now, the Prince Mohammed bin Salman. Yes, still they also facing a finance issue. Yes. We cannot have like about decades ago that Saudi Arabia is super rich. Nowadays, they're not. So we also helping them to creating a bankable document. So like the projects we did for Wadi Hanifa. On the first stage, that what we are doing with for them, it's preparing a bankable document, so then they can self-standing on funding the development of each project. Yeah, so we have to make it balanced, because all every city have their own problem, like I told you. Yeah, many countries or many donors, they would like to give a loan for Indonesia. Do you know why? Because of our populations and also the bonus demographic, and also the chance for our young people to pay it back. It is not good sometimes for me as part of the young people in this country, but yeah, it's different, from how donors see India. India also quite high in terms of populations, but there is a social issue that and the system in the government, that they are not very good. You know, if me, a World Bank or ADB give loan to them, you know, in terms of pay it back. Yeah. So every city, so we tailored everything based on its needs, based on its issue, its problem. Yes, there is a general things. It's normally what the clients needs is, yes, help me to prepare a 20 years program. And what is the quick wins for my boss? Because he only 5 years sitting there. Even for the mayor of Riyadh, we still prepare the quick wins. You know, you know, on the beginning when I joined on the projects, I think that, oh yeah, they send me to Saudi Arabia. I don't need to think about, you know, 5 years quick wins, silly programs like in the other city, like in the US, like in the UK, like in Indonesia. No, when I'm sitting together with Mayor of Riyadh, he said that, okay, I agree with your 25 years program, but what is the quick wins for me? Still similar, yeah. So yeah, but it's only can be understood from learn by doing, you know, because you're facing people, you're facing Mr. Mayor, Mrs. Mayor, you're facing the governor with their own character, you're facing the local people, you're facing the politics. It's different, you know. Maybe it's for me nowadays it's challenging. Okay, I enough for me with Governor of Jakarta, Governor Anies. But it's maybe challenging to talk to Ngarso Dalam, or to talk to the Sultan of Yogyakarta, the leaders, the governor of Yogyakarta, with the theory cases, let's say. We see no one, I mean, he's the king. It's probably different, you know. You probably respond in a different way. So why this is why I told you we cannot generalize, we cannot simplify, never ever simplify, because the politics is very colorful. It's different. I hope this could answer.
Yeah, yes, absolutely. It's super interesting. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mariam and Mbak Pita. Yeah, when it comes to politics, yeah, it's a little bit tricky and it's very challenging. So any other questions, everyone? Not only from the participants of our class, yeah, everyone is welcome, because I see like my students from urban and regional planning also joining this lecture session. Yeah, please feel free. Anyone, do you want to ask question? Okay, Karina.
I think there is one question from Karina.
Yeah.
So has been there an issue where the public is impacted in these projects? For instance, resistance from the public or required the public's involvement? And how did you solve this issue? Mbak Pita.
Sorry, can you? Sorry. Can you repeat it?
Okay. Actually, it's in the chat box.
Okay.
Maybe I can stop sharing the screen first so we can see each other.
All right. Okay. There is on the chat box.
Okay. And maybe related to that question, I also curious, what is the most challenging political lobbying that you've ever had in your project? Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, I try to understand. I try to least the words public impacting this project.
So if, for example, the project is pretty controversial, maybe the communities rejects or protest.
It's mandatory. It's mandatory. I saw on the participant list there is Mr. Porek Kelly joined in this class with the other participants. So Mr. Porek Kelly is my mentor.
Okay.
Porek, are you online now, Porek?
Yes, I'm online.
Okay.
So Porek can share with you guys the most interesting things that he faced when he involved on Detroit Future City projects. You can tell a mother who came to you, Porrick, and you know, she finger pointing on you, where she told you that her son is on the jail, but the government with the ambitious program for Detroit Future City. So how to accommodate it?
Actually, I'm sorry, I came to the lecture a bit late, so I didn't hear the beginning. So, but I've been online for the last 30 minutes or so. Actually, you know, that's a really good question: how to engage with the public when you're doing potentially what is a very controversial project. And I would say that Detroit was a really good example, but I would say that all projects, you have to engage, not consult, you have to engage, you have to co-create the project. So the reason most projects get into trouble, you know, we have in Europe and the US, we have legal requirements to consult with the public, so that you cannot get planning permission for a project unless there is a part of a public consultation. But most of the professionals, what they do is they plan and design the project 90+%, and then show it to the public, and they get some generally negative response from the public, and they play around with a few small changes at the edges, and they still represent back. So you get a completely unsatisfactory project goes through that the public don't support. And this is why a lot of planning, the planning process in many countries is actually discredited. So I would say that is, but we have a very different approach. We actually really want to engage with the public. And Detroit was a classic example. And would be great if you had an hour and I could tell you lots of stories about it, but I'll confine myself just to the one that Peter mentioned. After, I think about 3 days in the city, our first visit, the mayor decided to have a town hall meeting. You're familiar with town hall meetings, right? He invites, you know, the public. So there was a grouping, I think, of more than 1,000 people were in a town hall, and the mayor was very unpopular at this point. He was previously a great athlete and very popular as an athlete, but then he became mayor and very unpopular. Detroit was in serious trouble. The city is a crazy city. It was originally a white city, you know, before it became a city of cars, and then became a black city. And so it's essentially, it's a poor black city, but a lot of the good jobs are outside the city. So it's a slightly strange, it's an inside out city, because normally what happens in Jakarta, people go from the suburbs into the city, okay? But in Detroit, people travel from the city out to the suburbs to actually work in those car plants. And the reason that they do that is because they wanted to avoid being part of the unions. So really, to really understand Detroit, you had to understand its history. And I would say every city that we work in, whether it's a small place like Sanur in Bali, every place, Peter and her team were there, understanding the culture and meeting the people, feeling sort of the sentiment before even we start doing anything. Actually, that is part of it. And so back now to Detroit. On the third day, the mayor held the town hall meeting. I was asked to co-chair or co-facilitate a working group after they have the plenary session. And we were just setting up actually, and this lady approached me, an African-American lady came, and she approached me wagging her finger like this. And she said, "What are you going to do about my son?" And I said, "Well, I'm sorry, I don't know anything about it. Is there something you should tell me?" And she told me, "Don't you know that every 16-year-old who gets involved in the criminal justice system, first of all, he's going to go to prison. He's never going to be able to find a job, and his life will be forever impacted." And she said, "What is your plan going to do about that?" And that was a really, really challenging question. And I would say to you that I think that was one of I would say, the most profound questions from the public. And that changed completely our plan for Detroit. In fact, we always had a public engagement piece in Detroit Future City. But actually, we completely changed. We developed a stream which became bigger than the technical stream. And actually, that involved going to the market every weekend, sitting with the people for more than a year, actually, and listening to what the people wanted. Actually, we then produced a series of videos from that. We produced something called Detroit Stories. It was a book, it was whatever. And the stories that the 90-year-old lady who actually moved from the south of the US from Louisiana, moved to Detroit as a child, telling the stories about the city, about everything in the city. Actually, when the people of Detroit, because they were all depressed about their situation, when they heard the stories, these uplifting stories from older people, actually, they became positive. And it's quite funny because when that plan, we were preparing the plan just before Detroit went bankrupt. Okay, so really a dreadful time. Okay, and when the city goes bankrupt, what happens is that the state take over the administration of the city. So the state, the governor, appointed an administration like manager. And then there was an election of a new governor and then election of a new mayor. And guess what? This would ordinarily be a situation where the plan gets thrown out because there's so much change going on in the city that it's impossible to actually to win consensus. But because we had planned this whole city around the replanning of the Detroit Future City Plan around a consensual basis, the plan survived all that change, and the plan is still in place, which is pretty amazing from 2010. This has never happened before, that a plan would survive so much political change, the bankruptcy of the city. So it was pretty amazing. So the point that I'm making really is that Detroit really shows the value of public engagement, even when it is highly controversial.
Yeah. We also facing similar things in Pulau Mas project for it. When on the beginning, there's a two big slum area in Pulau Mas in area of our projects, and then we say that okay, just remove. We don't want to see that. This should be a new business district, and then I send, the team together, Ibu Marianti team and my team. We send the people to come to the slum area and talk to the people. You know what? They're not the people who don't have a job. They're the people who serve the informal sectors for whole business in Pulau Mas. Even they work as security. They work as office boy. They work as many driver in PT Pulau Mas Jaya. So we cannot just remove them, okay? But we include that. We take aspirations from that and we discuss it with the government. So that's the way we're bridging it. The Sanu cases is also the same, but because it is still on the early stage, we are working together, talk with the Yayasan Pembangunan Sanur. So they accommodate the whole adat, the whole culture systems in Bali, because Bali is very different, But Bali is totally different. And Pak Iqbal, he's facing another issue with transmigrant since President Suharto era in Central Kalimantan for our food estate program. So yeah, we have to include them. We have to let them involve, because these cities, these areas they have rights. It belongs to them too. So,
but that's generally not the way that this is done by, I would say, planners, designers. They generally design the project first, and then they show the end product. Because they believe in the power of their creativity, etc. They don't respect. There's a very, very good story, which if you want to look at, it's a video you'll probably find on YouTube by Martha Schwartz, who's a very famous landscape architect, a good friend of mine. But she was involved in designing of a project. So if you want to check it out on YouTube, you'll see actually what not to do.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Kelly and Mbak Pita. That's pretty interesting. Yeah, when usually to implement this kind of projects, we know that public engagement requires many time. Yeah, it is pretty time consuming, while maybe the expectation from the political leader is wants to succeed the project as soon as possible. How to manage, like from your experience, how to manage and to meet the mutual understandings between those two parties, yeah, from the public and also from the political leaders.
Honesty would be the first word.
That's honesty. And then we because we bring a strategy, and it's typical. We give programs, okay, and program is not something that you will do in the same time, or you wait for, let's say, 10 years and then you will implement it. No, okay. So we have to be very. This is about also lesson learned, even for the leaders, for the decision maker. This is what you can do, but don't sacrificing the people, don't sacrificing the city, don't sacrificing this city program. Okay, so it should be, we helping them to develop a good program that he or she can implement in that 4 years. Okay, but this should be linked with the whole system that city has. And then we give a good lesson to them by always saying that this is what we can tell you. Actually, if you implement this, it helps you. If this is your first term, it will help you to go with the second term. Or if this is your second term, you cannot go with the third term. I don't know. President Joko have planned for the third term. So, but this could be good for your next political career. So we try hard to convince them like that. Without the people, you're nothing, because you need them. Okay, and then the people also need the leaders, right? Yeah, to manage these things and so on. That's what we are doing. So communication is the key.
Strategy equals action. If you want to put it in mathematical terms, without action, strategic plans have no value. So therefore, there must be some quick wins for society and for the political leaders too. That's pragmatic.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Kelly and Mbak Pita. Yeah, from Ajeng question, what was that, Ajeng? The most challenging lobbying?
Yeah,
is that your question?
Yes, it's about I'm curious about what is the most challenging political lobbying that you've ever made with local government, for example.
Not want to tell you that I tap governors back
secret
shoulder. No, don't do that, Mr. Governor. Yes. So lobbying that I did, it's I have experience with Governor Ganja, convincing him on the projects that I just show on the video. I asked him, so this could be your politics agenda or program. I'm not telling that it's something that you can promise, because it's very dangerous, right? But if you can repositioning Central Java and the city of Semarang quite well, you can see your career there in Jakarta, in national arena. So that's what I did with Governor Ganja. With President Joko, it's just like talk about national security in terms of food vouchers. I give Bayani, to be honest, when I met President Joko last time, I brought the document of Jakarta Resilience Strategy, and I showed him how we are in Jakarta living in danger. just because of pure not self-standing in terms of food. Okay? If there is a big flood in the gate from outside Jakarta to Jakarta, so we only can live with the current food we have in Jakarta. We only can live only 3 weeks, not even 1 month. And then he said that, is that true? Yeah, that's true. So we need it. So yeah, Mary, but
sometimes
if I can talk to Ngarso Dalam with the Sultan about that TOD projects, because you know KI already start to talk about the KI projects.
Yeah, I think it's almost starting. I think. I mean, many discussions already about the TOD and yeah, the KRL, yeah, airport, train, and so on.
What I think one of the most challenging, to go back to lobbying, one of the most challenging things that we've come across, and it happens everywhere, is where where somebody wants to do something in a period of time that's completely non-feasible. Now that's something we get, I would say, on a regular basis. And so that's very challenging. And what we have to try and do, as Peter said earlier, is we have to try and get people to understand, both the public and the political leaders, to understand what is possible. So we have an open conversation about what is realistic and over what sort of timeline. And that and doing that very early on, so you don't get a misunderstanding from the outset. That's one of the most important things. So yes, of course, I would say it's normal that you get push, and this is right, that you get push from the politicians to actually do something in a crazy time, which is not feasible. But I think it's our job not just to take that and what is completely non-feasible and work with it on the pretense that we can earn some money by doing the project, but yet achieve nothing. I mean, for us, it's total failure if our work ends up and there being no long-term action.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kelly. Maybe, unfortunately, we have very limited time, everyone. Do you still have any question? Please feel free to ask, yeah. Maybe in Bahasa Indonesia will be fine anyway, and we will help you to translate, but we already know it in Bahasa.
Okay.
Okay. Any additional question?
I think that's enough for today session, Mbak Yani.
Okay.
Maybe we will have a further session with also Mr. Kelly and everyone.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, everyone. So this is very interesting. Actually, maybe later, yeah, we can have another discussion session, because if we talk about TOD, urban regeneration, those are areas of expertise of Pak Sani as well, Mbak. Mbak Vita. Pak Sani is also the head of the master program of urban and regional planning. Yeah, maybe it's open for maybe future collaboration. Yeah, we have a future discussion maybe in another time. Also regarding the pros and cons about the new capital city, maybe we can keep it for the next session, maybe for another guest lecture or in another opportunities. Maybe for the last one, before we close the session, I would like to ask Mbak Pita for giving a closing remarks, and then Pak Sani also to give closing remarks. Please, Mbak Pita.
Before Mbak Prita, I would like to give a short remarks.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for Mbak Pita once again. It's a very interesting, but depend on the discussion. I would like to ask some broader question, but later we will discuss again. And also Pak Kelly, for your nice discussion, also to add some important information for this class. Yeah, thank you very much once again, and we would like to ask Mbak Ajeng to give a short comment or short closing remark. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Pak Sani. Yeah. Okay, maybe Mbak Pita could also share the closing remarks.
Yeah, I'm very lucky with this opportunity and meeting you, because this is different. This is not students from urban planning. You're a student from School of Politics, which is I that's my interest, to be honest. This is why I'm focusing. I'm no longer become a landscape architect. I am now, I choose my path to be a strategic planner, to give advisory to the leaders, to mayors, governors. And then you have you have to be very critical to the situation since your young age, like this, with reading the situations, because you're the future. You probably, yes, you could be the politicians, that leaders, but what I really wish, you can, whispering something right, to those leaders. Yeah, because we are now a lack of that kind of people in this country. Everybody trying to be opportunist. It's fine to be opportunist, but to be honest, that's important. Thank you.
Thank you very much,
Thank you.
Mbak Pita. Once again, yeah, we would like to really appreciate your time and your sharing in our guest lecture session today. Thank you, Mbak Pita, Pak Kelly, Bu Marianti, Mbak Bella, and all of the Buruh Hapul team. Thank you, and also thank you all of the participants, yeah, from Urban Governance and Global Cities class, and also from other students, yeah, from other faculties, maybe within UKM. And I would like to pass this on to Mbak Ajeng to close this session.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much for all the speakers and also our lecturers who already give our this opportunity. And I think it's a very important lesson for all of us to be mindful in order to have any planning, and also because we will be the future decision maker. So Mbak Pita really show us how complicated the city project or city planning could be. And I hope that we can be a very mindful and also honest planner in the future, and also decision maker. Okay, before I ended up this Zoom meeting room, can we please take a Wi-Fi, Wi-Fi, like selfie, but together, but we. So
Yeah.
please turn on your camera, and Karina will capture us because, okay, here you are. Hi, guys. Okay. We'll take a selfie together. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Right.
I think that's enough. Thank you very much.
Okay.
It's really nice to know you.
Thank you once again,
Thank you, Mbak Pita.
See you
Thank you,
again.
Kelly. Ya. Mas Andri also, ya.
Sampai
Thank you.
ketemu.
Thank you.
Pak Kelly,
Bye.
thank you for your time. What
Thank
time is
you.
it now? There?
It's now just after 9 a.m. in the morning.
Oh, okay,
Oh.
that's fine.